Fallouts, blame, and defeat after defeat after defeat. Last season's Manchester United was the epitome of dysfunction, a team full of big egos but otherwise not much footballing ability. However, after a year under Ruben Amorim, that dysfunction is now behind them thanks to a profound transformation in the club's culture and standards, one that is beginning to manifest in their performances on the pitch. But if his predecessors couldn't do it, how did Amorim succeed in winning the culture war at United? While Amorim had little influence over Johnny Evans's retirement or the departure of Christian Eriksen, whose contract expired just like his hairline, he did play a significant role in the exits of Rasmus Højlund, Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho and Andre Onana. Among the controversial characters was Rashford, who paradoxically scored the first goal of Amorim's United era but was also the first to be shown the door. After participating in Amorim's initial 4 matches, he found himself excluded from the matchday squad for the Manchester derby, just 3 weeks into the manager's tenure. Rashford's lacklustre commitment to the team both on and off the pitch had been simmering for some time. It was a situation that Erik ten Hag had previously struggled to manage, often opting for lenient punishments whenever the player stepped out of line. While he often spoke about improving standards within the club, his actions did not always match his words, resulting in disciplinary measures even more inconsistent than his team's form. For instance, when Ronaldo refused to come off the bench as a substitute against Tottenham, Ten Hag omitted him from the squad in the following game. By comparison, Ten Hag's treatment of certain players, particularly his favourite little pet Rashford, was vastly different.
You got me.
When Rashford had arrived late to a team meeting before a match against Wolves due to oversleeping, his punishment was being left out of the starting lineup, only to be brought on at half-time when the game was still goalless. After he went on to score the winning goal, all was quickly forgiven between him and Ten Hag. Similarly, after skipping training following a night out in Belfast, he missed only the match against League Two side Newport County in the FA Cup and was allowed to return to the starting lineup for the following league game as if nothing had happened. In stark contrast, Amorim showed no hesitation in taking a hardline approach with not only one of United's highest paid players, but also their most famous homegrown talent of the last decade.
Our team should be so much better with Rashford, but this Rashford, he has to change.
Amorim did cut Garnacho a little more slack after also dropping him for the Manchester derby. But after the winger repeatedly defied the manager's authority, he was ultimately ordered to find a new club following his petulant reaction to not starting the Europa League final. Amorim also took a no-nonsense approach with Jadon Sancho, Antony and Tyrell Malacia by initially placing all 3 in the so-called bomb squad and barring them from training with the first team, although Malacia has since returned to the squad. But let's be honest, you and I totally forgot he even plays for the club. Yes, this stance may have diminished their market values, but it also sent a clear message to everyone, both within and outside the club, about who was in charge. And the fact that Amorim reportedly singled out Manuel Ugarte for criticism on the same day he told Garnacho to leave demonstrates that he holds all his players to the same standard, regardless of their past working relationship.
It was a really tough journey, but now I can see that was necessary. And I think we are in a better place because of that.
In addition to his many interviews, Amorim has also reportedly ensured his players dedicate more time to signing autographs and taking photos with fans before and after matches at Old Trafford, leading by example in this respect. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, we'd be incredibly grateful if you subscribed. Your support helps us grow and continue creating the content you love. Højlund and Onana did not exhibit the same lack of respect or commitment towards Amorim as Garnacho and Rashford. However, the coach was equally ruthless with them, deciding that neither player was good enough for his team. The jury is still out on whether that was the right call regarding Højlund, who has since impressed on loan at Napoli, much like a certain McTominay has, while his replacement, Benjamin Sesko, has struggled to settle in. In contrast, the decision to loan Onana to Trabzonspor and sign Senna Lamens has turned out to be a deal of the century, with the Belgian providing United with much-needed peace of mind in goal. It's not exactly a tall order to replace a goalkeeper who flapped at every shot that came his way, but it's nonetheless a big job for a young lad starting for a club like United. Additionally, Onana's audacity in asking for a better contract, even after the entire squad faced salary cuts for missing out on Champions League football this season, apparently didn't sit well with Amorim. Sure enough, with the acquisition of players who actually follow his tactical and stylistic instructions, alongside his first pre-season training camp and additional midweek training sessions due to their absence from European competitions this season, the squad is gradually adapting to his system. This level of coordination was never going to happen overnight, as each player must not only understand their role, but also anticipate their teammates' actions with sharper decision-making. However, we're starting to see this coordination in action, particularly when maintaining the defensive and pressing structures through rotations such as Mbeumo covering at right wing-back when Amad drives forward, or Dorgu stepping in as left centre-back when Luke Shaw advances. At last, it finally feels like the big egos in the squad have disappeared, with everyone working hard for each other to make the system function. Whether it's Cunha and Mbeumo tirelessly shielding the midfield pivot, or Amad embracing the challenge of playing out of position instead of complaining about it. A definitive sign that this cultural upheaval is benefiting the team on the pitch can be seen in the increase in late goals United have been scoring this season. They may still surrender opportunities carelessly and appear disjointed in attack when the pressure is on them to seize control of the game. But with their penchant for late goals, it's clear that their once fragile confidence is steadily strengthening with each point earned. And it's not just that they're scoring late. These goals have directly altered the results of matches, turning the prospect of draws into wins or defeats into draws.
You can sense that we could not win this game, but we are not going to lose, and that is a feeling that a big team sometimes have to have.
Harry Maguire's 84th minute header against Liverpool saw United snatch a first win at Anfield in 10 seasons and displayed their resilience, as they could have easily crumbled after Cody Gakpo's equaliser just a few minutes earlier. Amad's stunning volley in the 80th minute grabbed a draw away at Nottingham Forest, as did Matthijs de Ligt's 95th minute header against Tottenham the following week. Earlier in the season, Bruno Fernandes' 96th minute penalty clinched a victory for United over Burnley, following a game in which they had miraculously given up the lead twice in the second half. And let's not overlook their impressive win against their bogey team Brighton, where Mbeumo scored deep into added time to seal the game and save the entire fan base from suffering major heart attacks. While that goal didn't technically change the result, it certainly felt like it did at the time, especially as the Seagulls had been pressing relentlessly for an equaliser. Remarkably, goals scored in the 80th minute or later have been worth an extra 6 points from 12 games for United so far this season, or 8 if you include Mbeumo's strike against Brighton. In contrast, during Amorim's 27 league games last season, his side found the net after the 80th minute in only 5 matches, salvaging a total of 9 points. Despite having the lowest win percentage of any United manager in his first 54 Premier League games, it's worth noting that Sir Alex Ferguson ranks just above him, while Ten Hag leads the list. This serves as a constant reminder that strong starts don't always translate into successful managerial reigns, and the same is true for poor starts. However, for any managerial reign to endure, the manager must win over the dressing room, which sheds light on why United's hierarchy continues to support Amorim with both patience and financial backing. One reason Sir Jim Ratcliffe seems to favour him so much is that he represents a risky proposition. During the club's search for Ten Hag's replacement, the chairman was reportedly disappointed with then sporting director Dan Ashworth's shortlist of candidates, which included Eddie Howe and Graham Potter, whom he deemed too safe. Amorim, with his uncompromising attitude toward his system, occasional outbursts, and readiness to go to war even against treasured academy players, be it Rashford, Garnacho or Kobbie Mainoo, is anything but safe. United recognised this and was the reason why they insisted he arrive in the middle of last season rather than at the start of this campaign, as the coach himself would have preferred. The rationale was that if there were going to be teething issues toward the end of Ten Hag's reign, it was wiser to clean house right from the start. As such, United's hierarchy firmly believes that Amorim's first full campaign is the definitive period for evaluation, and evaluate him they will, fully aware that the results this time will shape his future at the club.
I want to tell you, the good days are coming.
If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content like this. Also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.